Welcome to everyone. Today we've got Dylan's and Ali's coach Matthew Mosher here with us. Matthew, thank you for accepting the call. I hope you had a good conversation with Otis prior to this interview. I'm pretty much glad that we're finally airing Drew's and Ali's coach. Dylan's and Ali's coach, and hope this is going to be a good one. So you can kick off with a message for the fans, then we will proceed with question by question and everything that goes along with it.
Okay. What's your message?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. So basically, I'm Ali and Dylan's coach. You may know me as Matthew the Minge Mosher, but I like to keep it simple. I'm just known as Mosher around the gym. I'm very experienced in certain parts of martial arts. I don't teach at all, but I'm a more of a boxing coach. I've only stepped in the ring once or twice, but I tend to take scraps outside of it, as I'm much known on here for, and I tend to fight people out with it. But I'm just here for the interview today, so that's all.
How did you kick off your coaching career? What was the spark that turned you to start doing coaching?
Well, I've always looked up to top fighters, so people like Muhammad Ali, Tyson Fury, Mike Tyson, these sort of boxers. I'm into my boxing myself. That's what I'm the best at teaching. That's where I started. And that's what I started off as a kid. I was always a boxer. And I thought to myself, I'm not the fighting type. I don't really do that kind of thing on the main stage. And I feel like I can teach people better than I can actually fight in the ring. So I thought to myself, why not just take on board with the whole coaching aspect, and then take on people and teach them how to become champions. Because I have that that champion mindset in me. I've coached the best. Some good Scottish youngsters that are up and coming. I've really took them on board, and in a few years you'll definitely be hearing about them.
That's pretty much great. So how were the first, your first 3, 4, 5 months of the opening? Can you elaborate that period? Otis says your and his gym opened up around the same time, right?
Yeah. We opened up close to the same time. His was before mine. I kind of started afterwards because I saw a good way. I was already into the coaching thing, and I saw him obviously do it. So I thought myself, I'll start one myself. So I did that, and then along came Ali, and he kind of showed me the way in coaching and stuff, and I kind of took him on board, and I kind of taught him well. I gave him a grasp of the whole fighting aspect to, and the more mental side, because Ali's a phenomenal fighter. He's brilliant. He's got all the for a youngster, he's mental how good a fighter he is. He's not scared to take on anyone. He's a big guy, and he can take anyone he wants. I for one would say, if it was up to me, I would stay out of his way. I would definitely not be fighting Ali. So yeah, I sort of started that gym, and I took Ali on, and I've not looked back since. I've been taking on many more, so there should be many more up and coming fighters just like Ali on the way.
Do you think that Ali's cardio is a copycat of GSP's cardio?
Sorry?
Do you think that Ali's cardio is a copycat of GSP's cardio, George St. Pierre?
I can't really make out the audio.
I'm trying to say, Ali is a cardio machine, just like GSP.
Yeah.
Do you back that up or not?
Yeah. Ali is definitely he's just a top kind of fighter, and I think anything good said about him is definitely on the terms of being right. Obviously he's not on the same level as the greats yet, but I definitely think Ali is there, and he can take on anyone he wants. He's a great fighter. and I'm happy to big his name up. I'm happy to back him. He's a top fighter, and I think many should be scared of him if they are to face him in the ring.
Ali claims that he is an all-around fighter. Do you agree or not?
Yes, definitely. I'd say he's good at most martial arts. Not everyone is the best, but I would say everyone I coach in my gym, Ali is definitely, he's always the best at just about every martial arts we're trying out and stuff on all the new people. He's always there to kind of take on other people under his wing and show them how to, kind of compete and, fight at a similar level to him. He's a great fighter. And like, that's all I've got to say really. He's a top fighter, and I think those should be scared of him, I'm taking absolutely nothing away from Ali. He's a great fighter. So that's where I stand on it. Ali's a top fighter, and I think anyone stepping the ring with him should be scared. You're definitely going to be taught a lesson. You're going to have your ego back down a bit because Ali's a top fighter, and that's all I've got to say.
How hard it is to coach a southpaw fighter?
It's not that hard, to be fair. I've coached many now, so I'm used to it. Ali was the first, and obviously it was hard because Ali's already got that kind of element to him. He was already a top fighter before he came to me, and I was already a coach. I had people under my wing, and they were good fighters, but they were not on the level Ali was. I took Ali under my wing. Well, not under my wing, but I chose to coach him. I thought this would be a great learning opportunity, and Ali's already a great fighter, so I can't really teach him as much. But I thought I'll kind of take this as a learning opportunity so I can produce more. But I didn't realise how well Ali was going to perform when I took him on, and he's done so well. He's a top fighter, and I think that's probably one of the best sort of fight, kind of martial arts, like sort of the best fighter I've produced, I'd say. But there is others up and coming out, and I've learned from my coaching, being around Ali and his team, kind of how to take on kind of what I do with him and bring it onto these new people, and surely we'll have some top fighters coming from the Mosher gym, and you'll definitely be seeing some top champions from the Mosher gym, I'd say.
I already asked Dylan this question, but I'll ask you as his coach. Do you think Dylan has a lot of similarities with Thiago the Pitbull Alves?
Yeah, I would say so. I'd say my fighters don't really they have similarities, but they're their own people, sort of. They are already greats in their own books. You don't need to be comparing them unless you want a kind of size matter and you want to see, like, take hard evidence from other people's fights. You shouldn't really be comparing my fighters to these people because they're already really good in their own rights. I don't think they should be compared to these other type of fighters. They are very similar, I will give you that, but they're their own sort of people, and I don't think you should be comparing my own fighters to these other sort of people. I think they should stay focused and kind of concentrate on being themselves and being these kind of top fighters as you must. So yeah, I do see the similarities in it, and I tell him that. He's told me that many times. But I tell him, you should be focused firmly on yourself. Don't compare yourself to others. Try your hardest to be like yourself, make a name for yourself. Don't fall under the shadow and just be bigger. And that's kind of what the whole Mosher gym stands for.
Well, from what I could have seen, Ali reminds me a lot of, I don't know, man. Like when I was a younger, Ali reminds me a lot of myself. I think Ali is a very, very dangerous fighter. I don't know why. For
Yes,
the
definitely.
second time, first time when they were fighting, when I saw Ali's face, I said, Drew, this is going to be a big problem.
Yep. It definitely is, and I can't believe Drew still thinks to take these like fights on. He wants to challenge everyone in my gym. I see him there all the time. I'll come in there for my sessions with my fighters, and I will look out the window and I'll just see Drew's face right there. Him and his team, they're always waiting. They always want to pounce on my fighters because they know we're a challenge. They see what the Mosher gym is producing, and it's not a lie. It's not a joke. We are producing the sort of backbone to fighting, and in the next couple of years, we're definitely going to have some, hard end, like some killers. We are really bringing in some of the fight and the passion back to the sport, and we've really got some good backbone to what has been produced. So yeah, I would say Drew is sort of taking a big step in fighting Ali. I'd say Ali's a scary guy. I'm scared of Ali. I'm petrified of him. The first time I laid eyes on him, I was scared to take him on. I knew as soon as I take him on, it's going to be a good stepping stone, so to say, in my career for coaching. But I was shit scared of Ali. He's a scary fighter. And I think Drew should really think before he speaks and calling out all my gym and coming after my people, because we will give him a fight, and if he keeps coming back, we may have to sort him out our own ways. I might have to take care of it myself, but I think Drew and Ali, it's a top fight, and you're definitely putting up two greats against each other, two of the best in Scotland.
Yeah, absolutely agree. Absolutely agree. Can you explain why the rivalry between your gym and Otis gym is so huge? Is it because it was created around the same time, or there is something else hidden behind the curtains?
It's a bit of both, really. You could say it's because of that. Partially to my part, it's more behind the curtains, but to them, since they opened up first and we opened up second, you could say that it's sort of a competition factor to it, and they want to be the best. They want to produce the best. But, I'd say it's more because they're coming after my boxers. They're trying to make them feel weak. They're waiting on them outside the place. They're trying to set up ways into fighting them, getting them themselves and fighting them with their teams and stuff. And, I don't deal with that kindly. I'm trying to produce the best fighters here. I'm trying to stay concentrated, help them. And, when they've got fights coming up, it doesn't help when they are kind of there and trying to, beat them with bats and, trying to jump them, stuff like that. It's not nice to see, but I suppose you could say it's a rivalry. They don't like the fact that we are challenging them and we are like the two most dominant gyms in our area. So yeah, I'd say there's two factors to it. I have my own story, they have their own story. I don't know their side to it, but from my stand of it, it's a more behind the curtain thing. They're coming straight from my people, the people I'm training. They're coming for me. They're targeting me. I struggle to sleep at night sometimes. I'm scared when cars go by my house because I'm scared they're going to attack me and stuff like that. So I stay very well awake and, I stay concentrated. So there's two sides to the story always. That's what you must remember.
Yeah, absolutely do. Absolutely do. So there are some things that you should discuss here. So Otis mentioned this Graham Kid scuffle. What can you say about that?
I've had many scuffles in my time. None quite as ugly as that. Graham Kidd is known in our area. He's an ex-champion. In his time, he was one of the top fighters in wrestling. He's a physical guy. He's a big guy. He's a warrior, if you must. And he had his own time in the ring. He's retired now, and he does coaching. So he's not really in the kind of he's still in the coaching game, but he has a lesser gym. His gym is not as good as the way my gym is doing and Otis's gym. You know, he's got his own thing, and he's not really bringing up the fighters like the way he fought. You know, he's not really producing as much as you'd think for how good a fighter he was. He would have some very good fighters on the way at his gym, but he doesn't seem to really be taking that from him, taking that light, and he doesn't like that, and he has a lot to say about it in other press conferences, on like his social media, wherever he is, he's just very mouthy about my gym and about me, and he takes it too far. You know, I'm a very religious man. You know, I'm a very religious man. I like to pray a lot. Yeah. You know, I don't see fighting like the way he does it. He's out there to kill, and he is like, he's a killer. I am, on the other hand, I do it as a sport. I love it. And you know, I obviously understand that everyone has their own way to fighting. You know, they have their own way to think of it. But you know, I don't like how he makes fun of my religion. You know, he doesn't like me praying. I tend to like to have all the time before fights. Me and my team, we always gather in with the fighter. We always do a little prayer for the fight, you know, to help us win. Because God is always on your side. And I like to pray a lot. You know, I'm thankful about everything. And Graham seems to not like that. You know, he seems to go after me a lot. And I remember I was, the last time the scuffle happened, he came for me when I was praying, and I think that's the worst thing to do. He came for me when I was praying outside my gym, and he hit me with a crowbar on the back of the head. A crowbar. I got a huge scar on the back of my head. There was blood everywhere, and he I respect him. He single-handedly attacked me rather than having to bring a team with him. He just attacked me and him, and I was on the ground. You know, I was already on the ground doing my prayers, and he hit me on the back of the head with a crowbar, and I was lights out. I was down, and you know, about 20 people from my gym came running out and chasing him away, and I was lucky for that, because he probably would have continued to bash me up, but if I wasn't praying outside my gym, it would have been a different story, you know. But I have also participated, I'm not going to lie, in attacking Graham. You know, I've attacked him as well for metal bar. I didn't do it as bad as he done it. He done it right in the back of my head, and that is, as you know, as a fighter yourself, lad, you know, it's very bad etiquette to attack someone on the back of the head, no matter what, whether it be with a fist or with a weapon. You know, it's very bad etiquette. It's very damaging to one person. And I would say, you know, I attacked him beforehand, before this happened, but after that, I woke up in the hospital, and I got back to my feet again. I was enraged by Graham. You know, I did attack him, fair enough. But, you know, I showed some etiquette about it. I did attack him, but I didn't hit him in the back of the head. I didn't give him serious injuries where you could kill someone from it, you know. I just attacked him just because of what had been said by him. It angered me, you know. So, you know, I just went after him, and I lost my head, and I get like that sometimes. When I'm in the mood, I'm ready to fight anyone. I'll fight anybody, anywhere, anytime, you know. So I just drove in my car as soon as I heard what he'd been saying about me, and you know, the rest is history, really.
Yeah. What are your thoughts on your brother Blair getting the Endeavour Award for National 5 Chemistry and National 5 Geography?
You know, he's, I say well done to him. You know, he's done well there. He's a smart man. You know, he knows what he's doing. Like he's just a smart sort of person. You know, and he is a fighter. You know, he's a deadly fighter. He's done a lot of cage fighting in his time. You know, he's the right kind of fighter you want to have on your team. You know you're gonna win fights when you've got Blair Mosher. But you know, he's got two sides to it. You know, he's a very smart lad. You know, he's got his qualifications. You know, he's a smart guy, and he's looking for something out with the whole martial arts, just in case it doesn't go for him, because you know that can happen. But you know, big ups to Blair. You know, he's some guy, some boy, and I hope he's got two paths now to choose from. He can choose either cage fighting or, you know, a more another job, because you know he's a smart guy. So props to Blair. Well done.
Why could the Brazilian prospect not arrive at your gym?
Sorry.
Why could the Brazilian prospect not arrive at your gym? Otis mentioned the Brazilian guy who trains at his place.
Because I produce Scottish fighters, you know. I produce Scottish fighters. It's for Scottish only. You know, we don't let these big superstars come into our gyms and train unless they are Scottish, or if they're younger, I'll take them on, because you can always change to Scottish. But I'm here to produce the Scottish fighters. You know, the big. You know, Scotland is already a hard man country, and we have a lot of talent just going to waste. I don't want to be bringing in people from other countries to my gym, training them up, and they go and produce championship belts, medals, you know, all that for their country, representing their country, not Scotland, not Mosher gym. So, you know, I like my homegrown talent at the Mosher gym, you know, because they understand what it takes to be a fighter, and they understand what they're representing, and I take them all the way. So that is why. And I do not like superstars coming into my gym, because there's always that ego about them that they have. They come into my gym and, you know, they make it their place when it's the Mosher gym. It is your own environment. You fight there. You're there to train. You're there to work hard. You're not there to show how much money you have in the bank, or how good a fighter you are, or who you could take in there. Unless you're trying to practice, you should not be squaring up to everyone you see, you know. So that's just how I feel about it. You know, that's my take on it. I like my own homegrown talent. You know, I like to see my country doing well, and I like to see my fighters doing well. So there's more understanding from them to me. You know, they understand what it takes and the amount of sacrifice they have to make to become a fighter. And, you know, they'll do everything they can. They'll, you know, I'll turn them into proper machines. And that is why we are producing some top fighters at the moment, because they understand the sacrifice it takes to be a fighter. And, you know, they're doing everything they can for this gym and their country. So that is my stance on it. That is why I don't tend to take people that are not Scottish.
Do you think that you are getting into problems with people because of your views of the world, like religious, national? I mean, I do understand you. I'm a nationality dude, as well as you can see, but
Yep.
But I mean,
Yeah.
I'm normally asking, do you think that you're dealing with problems? I mean, Otis is also proud Scottish Drew too. I mean, it's okay. It's completely normal when somebody loves his own state. For example,
Yeah.
I was just born in Bulgaria, but I lived in Serbia my whole life. But there are some things you can't stop. I would never,
Exactly. Yeah, I mean, you wear the Bulgarian flag proudly, and that says a lot about you. You know, you're proud of where you come from. Yep, exactly. You know, love, I respect to Bulgaria. You know, from Scotland, but you know, you're not scared to wear your flag. You know, you understand where you come from. You're proud about that, and that's what makes a true fighter. They're happy on where they come from. You know. And I feel there are some people that are a bit washed up. You know, a lot of fighters are coming from their countries, and you know, it is there's more attraction in these countries for fighting than there is where they come from. So they migrate and come here, and fair enough, that's fine. You know, make your own. But I like to have it my way. You know, I would take them on. Sure, I have got people that aren't Scottish in my gym. I've been taking people from young ages like that, but it's not my views that are getting me into trouble. It's my character and who I am, you know, the person I am, sort of, that gets me. I'm very proud about myself, you know. I believe that I'm one of the best coaches out there, and there's people that doubt me. You always have your doubters, as you probably know about that, Vlad. You'll have had doubters in your time, you know. And now you're here. You're doing your thing. You're doing very well, you know.
Yeah,
You're
man,
well
when we're
known.
already discussing that, I've got to tell you, in Serbia, 85% of people hate me. Like in Bulgaria, I can't walk down the road when I went to place where I was born. I mustn't take a shortcut because everybody are whooping at me. I'm like walking down the river when I go running, you know. That's like not going through the center of the city. I'm not doing that.
Yeah, yeah. That's exactly the same with me. You know, I can't step foot in certain areas, you know, that have the Otis gym, you know, over there. I can't step foot in that area, so I understand where you're coming from. You know, I myself would get attacked and stuff like that, so I keep to my boundaries. You know, I don't outstep it as much as you know, some people get to that stage where they're better than everybody and they believe that they want to outstep those boundaries. I'm a very humble sort of coach. I'm here for the fighters and sort of that. I'm a mental man. I focus on the fighting, but the mental is a huge task to take on hand when you're fighting. And I believe I'm one of the best because I'm good with that sort of thing. You know, I really teach my fighters how to relax themselves, how to big themselves up for a fight, how to get in the zone, because you can see people bottle and crack under pressure when it comes to the fight night. You know, everyone's there watching and they just don't fight. They just stop and they're not themselves, not what you've just been training in the gym, you know. And it's a mental factor, and that's why I'm the best. You know, that's why I work with the best from my gym, because, you know, I am here to teach those talented fighters who have the raw talent how to become better than what they already are through the mental factor.
What can you say about Robbie was smashing Otis Otis Jim's window? Because there were many controversial stories about that, but in the end, nobody knows the truth. So, what is your side of the story?
You know, that's their own thing. You know, that's out with my beef. Obviously, it does have. I have ties to it. You know, me and Otis, the rivalry between our gyms, and you know, I say well done to Robbie. Respect to Robbie for standing up to himself and, you know, taking the fight to Otis. You know, smashing his window. I'd say props to that. You know, everyone was talking about it in my gym and stuff, and I was accused on the hand of doing it until they found out it was Robbie. I was on the accused side, and everyone believed it was me, and I was being targeted, and, you know, everybody was out for my head. But they found out it was Robbie, so the heat kind of died down on my name for it. But, you know, respect to Robbie. You know, it takes a lot of balls to do it, and you know, well done to him.
So they were thinking you did it, and it was not you. It was his own idea, right?
Yes, yes.
Yeah, absolutely. So, in general, about Drew versus Dylan for the second fight, what are your thoughts and points of view on that fight? Because from what I've seen, we've got a powerful puncher, as much as I can see, and with Drew is like unpredictable fighter, very unpredictable.
Exactly. Drew's himself, you know. Drew's his own fighter, and as much as I'd like to start shit with him and say stuff, I'm a humble guy, as I've said this before. You get on the wrong side of me and I'll be an absolute menace towards you, but I'm a humble guy, and I'll give Drew that respect he deserves, you know. But he's his own fighter. Sorry. He's his own fighter. I'd say, and he, you know, he does his own thing. But Dylan, if you know, I don't want to big him up and, you know, let the ego go to his head, but, you know, he's a bigger guy than Drew, and I definitely say, looking at the two, you've got your winner and you've got your loser. But, you know, I think personally it's unfair for Drew, you know, coming up against someone from that gym and already one of my best fighters, you know. they're definitely in for a challenge. But yeah, I'd say Drew's he's in for a treat. That's all I've got to say. Good luck to both of them. But I know my winner already, and I've been training them very hard. And I'm ready for the fight. So I already know my winner for this second fight coming, and it'll be a lot better than the first one. I will tell you that.
Yeah, I think Shush sounds like a great option. We were rolling out of laughing today at the presser.
Yeah. I did see some in the press conference. Obviously, I'm a very busy guy, and I can't see it all. But I saw some of it, and it was a bit. It was there's obviously their own aspects to it. They have their own things to say to each other. So I'm not very involved in it. It's a mental between both of them, and let them go at it. I don't want to have too much to say on it, but I did enjoy it thoroughly, and it does look to be a better fight the second time round than it did the first. So yeah, I'm looking forward to this one.
What do you in general think of the socioeconomic crisis in the world?
I don't know. I think it's bad. Obviously, it's unfair. Money is very, very tight nowadays. I myself, I'm noticing the numbers are going down within the gym. Money is tight nowadays. There has been times years ago where I was unable to afford electricity in the gym, so many people were freezing, and nowadays we're back up, and the gym is doing very well. It's doing very well for itself, and it's growing. But the socio-economic crisis it has a lot to do out with the boxing. I'm a boxing man, and I know basically piss all about anything else out in the world. I know nothing else. I am a boxing man. I'm programmed for boxing. But to give you it short and sweet, I love money, so I hate to see that there is a crisis at the moment. So I hope they can get back to their ways. I hope they can get someone to sort this out, because if they don't, I might have to go and do it myself. I might have to learn how to work with money and fix everything, because I want to be rich. Everyone does, but I specifically want to be rich, and someone better fix this, otherwise I will.
How's your new elite striker Bliss Grant doing in the gym?
Oh, amazing! He's a top performer. He's not on the level of Ali and stuff, but he has that kind of fighter ego to himself. He knows he can fight people. He wants to fight. He wants a challenge. He sees a bigger bear, and he'll take it. He's there to fight, and he doesn't care who. He doesn't care your face. He doesn't care how strong you are or who you've beat. He just wants to fight, and he doesn't care if he wins or loses. And I love that about him. He's homegrown talent, Scottish bred. He is half Mexican. He's from Mexico, and he came to Scotland. And that is me kind of talking about how I do take on people who are not Scottish in my gym and train them up from a young age, because they still will represent Scotland. They will understand. They'll be here for a while, so they'll understand Scotland. They'll understand my kind of ways of teaching, so to say. But Bliss Grant is a top fighter, and I think after Ali, it's definitely Lewis. Lewis is a top fighter, and I'd say he's one of my best that I'm currently working on. He's a sort of project, I'd say. In terms of my gym, he's a working project. He's a great fighter. I just need to tie him down and really get him knotted down to the sort of mental I was talking about. But he's a great fighter, and then I think he could take most people. He's something to be scared of.
So what do you think? Is the situation ever gonna calm down between you and Otis?
There's never say never, but at the moment it's not looking like there will be. I'm a scary guy. He too is his own guy. I wouldn't say he's a scary guy. No one is scarier than me. I'm a big guy. So many people are scared of me. And I'm a very solid solid sort of person. I'm solid, but yeah, I don't know. That's up to him. You can speak to him about that. Each to their own. I say we're our own people. I'm an aggressive guy. If you take me that way, and I will do anybody in his gym. I'll smash them all. So yeah, but I hope one day we can maybe lay the gloves down. I like it at the moment. I like the sort of fighting to it. But I hope in the future we can maybe solve it all and maybe settle down and kind of relieve the pressure, because we want to do the best and produce the best. But there's always that kind of risk element to everything, and we want to fight each other, and I think it's good for the boxers to understand that there's that rivalry in my gym. It's a good thing as well, and they're always up and ready to fight each other, which I think is great. It makes better fighters out of each other. But I hope one day the beef can die down between us. It's more of the gym, I would say, the aspect that came into it, but we've took it to personal reasons, and we've gone out with that, which I think that's bad. But I hope it can die down at some point.
In the state where I currently live, there is a wild, stupid stereotype where they say MMA journalist doesn't have to know to fight. So, have you seen an MMA journalist with my level of striking? But honestly,
yeah. Sorry, can you repeat that? I couldn't hear the last. Can you repeat the whole question? I couldn't hear some of it because it's like.
Okay, in my state, there is a stereotype that MMA journalists don't know to fight. So, what do you think about that? And have you seen an MMA journalist with my level of striking? I don't say it's top notch, but I think it's pretty good for a journalist because I'm not a pro fighter.
Yeah, I don't know. You could say a lot of journalists are cowards. In my country, there is many cowards that hide behind their screens and their cameras, and they take photos of me and put bad name and publicity. I came on to settle this. I know you have said some bad things about me and stuff, and I'm here to sort that out and clear up any bad name and bad press about the Mosher gym and the Mosher name. It's all good. There's nothing bad to it. It is all boxing, and out with it is its own thing. I don't think the press should be into that. But you are a brilliant, phenomenal fighter, Vlad. I've seen you myself, and I think if you didn't stay in Bulgaria all your life and you came to Scotland, I could definitely have coached you and turned you into a top fighter, already that you are. But I feel that me and you together would have very good chemistry, and I'd be able to tie you down and turn you into a proper fighter. But that saying is partially true, but everyone is to their own. They can be good fighters. It's not down to the career you sort of chose. Everyone has that sort of fighter instinct in them, and it's just got to be unleashed. And like yourself, you've unleashed that, and you've really powered it down, and you are a top fighter. So I'd say there is many in your country that have got it all wrong. You're a top fighter, and I don't think your name should be dragged down by that sort of stereotype. You're your own person. So I'd say continue on with it. Become the best sort of journalist fighter you can be, and you're really good at teaching others like your sort of fighting techniques, and I like that about you. You love your fighting, so keep it up. Don't let that stereotype bring you down, and I think you could be definitely challenging in the fighting world if you ever choose to do it. Come to Scotland, and the Mosher gym can maybe think about setting you up with a fight just to see where you're at. But I think stereotypes are for a bunch of pansies, a bunch of little boys. I think you should really be judging it on the man themselves, not the stereotype. Don't judge others, But each to their own, Vlad.
I'd be interested, I'm I'm past that, but I was thinking about a fight of YouTuber versus YouTuber, or for example, journalist versus journalist. If they offer enough money, I would be down. Why not? But for example, there are many journalists I would be down to fight, and one of them, a grunting fat piece of crap who trolls fighters when they miss weight. And big shout out to John Morgan.
Yes.
But I'm taking this as a very dangerous approach because he is
um,
way heavier. But you've seen me; I like to fight like uh, uh, people say that I'm a combination of Ivanov, Medic, and Barboza, like 3-in-1. I don't know, but all fans are saying that. I don't know why.
yeah. You're a top. I don't want to big you up, obviously, because we have our own beef. But I will be an honest man. You're a top fighter, and I think you're a very scary guy. I think you're able to do most, smash most people, and I think that's what makes a great fighter is the fact that they can smash people, who they can take. And I think you definitely would be able to take Morgan. I think he's just, as you say, a troll online. I think the fact that he just does that kind of says a lot about himself, and the fact that you've called him out countless times sort of says it all. I think you should really go for it and bring him out. And if he doesn't come out, show another way, take another person to fight. Spar them, not even spar, maybe take it to a main event, maybe a Logan Paul KSI level, the way you've seen YouTubers do that with them, how big that got. I genuinely think you could attract that sort of interest from a journalist view and have a journalist be journalist. It would be a much bigger fight than Logan Paul versus KSI if you took Drew Morgan, but you could definitely take, a smaller journalist than Drew, and fight them, and then maybe Drew will think, I'll take you then. So yeah, Drew, stop hiding behind the camera. I would say, Vlad is here to fight. He wants to fight you. I think it's a very cowardly thing what you're doing, and Vlad is ready. Vlad is prepared, and he wants to do more than journalist. He wants to defend his name, which I respect. So stop hiding behind your camera. Your screen. Just go and fight him. It's waiting to happen. I'm ready to see it happen. All the Mosher gym is here to see it, and I can't wait for it. So please make it happen.
Yeah, true that I didn't expect a lot of positivity from you, considering that we do have our own beef. But can you just
Yeah.
explain what is the origin of that? I mean, I do know, Otis knows, fans don't know. So if you're keen on it, you
Yeah.
can explain it.
I have beef with lots of people. Don't get me wrong, lads. I think you're very nice and you've shown that you're a big man to bring me on your own channel and talk to me face to face here. The beef isn't very big. I have bigger beef, with Otis and stuff like that. I have bigger fish on my plate, so to say, to take care of first. But I hate when my name has been dragged under and that I'm seen to be this sort of bad guy. I'm just a boxing trainer, not a boxing trainer, sorry, a sort of all martial art, mixed martial art trainer. I teach in very different things, but I like to teach my boxing, obviously, but I'm a mixed martial art trainer. And I think it's bad that you bring my name under. I think my gym went through a wee bit of a rough patch when you said some bad things about me and Graham Kidd, the whole incident behind that. I think that should be, obviously that is its own thing, but I think that should be, I don't like that it's been rung into the spotlight. I think that should be kept down low and, it's just how it is. But, I respect you for bringing me on here and, talking to you about all this. It's very, very manly of you. But, it's just how it is. We have our beef and maybe we can get by it. I respect you for that. I have a lot of respect for you, Vlad. I've been watching you for a while now. So you're an exceptional person. But we do have beef. Obviously, I've got beef with others, so it does not make you on a different boat, so to say. You're another guy that I have beef with. But we can maybe get by that. But I respect to you anyway. For doing your own thing and for being a big guy and sort of bringing me here and to your own place and allowing me to say what I want to say. But yeah, thank you anyway. But yeah, we are beefing, and it's due to the Graham Kidd incident and my name being kind of dragged under for it. But yeah, but aye.
Well, I do agree with you about one thing because I'm a kickboxer, so my boxing needs a lot of work. You are right about that.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
everybody
yeah,
who tells me that, I know that he is a real coach and I know he is not a troll. Because it's easy,
yeah,
I go to Ahila MMA from time to time. That's a local gym in Belgrade. They have very big prospects, like the greatest Serbian prospect trains there. And their coach also says, Vlad, you kick like a Mac track. Your knees, elbows are good, but your punches need work. So everybody who says my
yep,
punches need work is a good coach. Like Otis said that too. So, that's how I know that people are good coaches when it comes to striking.
yep. Exactly. I'm an honest man, and I'll say what I think. I believe in perfection. Everyone's got to be perfect especially when you're taking on a sport like this. You've always got to perform to your best, no matter what. And because if you're not to your best, that your other fighter will be, and he will destroy you. So you've got to perfect every art, every element in this sort of your martial art. And you need to be the best fighter you can. Otherwise, you're not going to win. You're simply not going to thrive in this fighting element, and it takes some real determined people to take on this sort of role. And I think you're a very determined man. You have lots of career. You have your channel. You're a journalist. That sort of thing. You have your merch. You've got your own things going and stuff, and you're also very intrigued by fighting, and you want to become a fighter. And I think go for it. If you think you can be a fighter, I encourage it. So props to you anyway, Vlad. But that's just how it is.
Yeah, it's pretty much fair, and you're right about one thing, like, year and a half ago, I was just a regular guy, doing a regular job, and it was top, man. I was
Yep.
writing some articles, and it was outstanding. But right now, when everybody
Aye.
knows me, that's like, too much of a pressure for a guy like me.
Yeah, yeah. I know you have a large following in Bulgaria, and you're also starting to attract over here in Scotland and in America. You're starting to really become, yeah. You're starting to really become big. Your merch sort of took off, and it's doing its own thing in these other countries. It's really starting to pop off. I've told Drew obviously that I'm very interested in the merch line and stuff, and I've heard that it's doing well in Scotland. I've heard like shops like JD and stuff like that. In Sports Direct. They're starting to sell some of your caps. I've seen some of that in there. So yeah, I'd say well done to you for making your own thing happen, and props to Bulgaria, props to the Bulgarian cowboy doing so well over here in Scotland and in Bulgaria. So. Yeah, well done.
Well, yeah, for now I can only send via post office because I live in a third world country, And also there is one thing that is different. I always ink everything. It has my authentic signature. So when somebody starts saying, "Oh, Vlad, it's not yours," I say, "Fine, copycat my signature."
Yeah, exactly. I mean, you do get that, people will try and pretend that they're you and, forge your signature and stuff, and you get that. See, when you start to become a celebrity, like you are starting to become, people will try that, but, you must show everyone, I'd say, show everyone an example of your signature and say, this is it, this is the real thing, show yourself writing it, and then that's it really. This is the Vlads, so no one will copy you then, but, you've got bigger things I'd say to worry about than that. You've got your fighting, you've got your journalism. So I'd say focus on that. But your brand exposure, your name is starting to go worldwide. So well done to that.
Well, thank you for kind words. And generally, I like to hear everybody's side of the story. Like, even when two gyms are not in good relationships, there is certainly two sides of stories, anyways. But also, I got to say about Otis, he also helped me a lot by bringing some fans, etc. So, like, it's okay. It was very much okay from his end. I put him as a moderator on my website because he really did a lot for the development, because of Otis,
Yep.
I was able to break through to the Scottish market, and my sponsor,
Yeah.
a Bulgarian sponsor, we had an agreement. There are some things I can say, some things I can't say. But we had an agreement to break into one of the states. He said America, US, or Canada. If you break into one of those, America, US, Canada, or UK. And he said, if you break into one of those states, I'm gonna give you money for next year too. So technically, I completed this job because of Otis in the first place. So yeah, that's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, well done. You're already becoming big here in the UK. Specifically Scotland. That is in the UK. Obviously, yes. It's the north of it. Yeah, you're very big here in this country, Scotland. But you're making your way all over the UK as well. Don't let that be forgotten. But on to bigger things. You shouldn't just be aiming for that. And I think you should be worldwide. You've obviously got work with Brazilian fighters and stuff like that. I'd say you're attracting people from across the globe. They're going to bring their fan base with them. Sooner or later you're going to become known there. So I'd say just keep at it and keep working hard, and you'll achieve what you desire, and that's sort of the way to go, Vlad.
I've got the last question for you. Chris Duncan is fighting tonight.
Sorry?
Chris, the problem Duncan is fighting tonight at Dana White Contender Series. You claim you're a proud Scot, so go for it. What are you predicting?
I'm to win. If a Scottish man stepping in the ring, you already know that they're going to win it. Every Scot has got that sort of fighter, that hard man instinct in them. So I'd say Chris is going to win it, and that's just how it is. Anyone that's Scottish and stepping in the ring, you have my respect. You have my props. I'm going to vouch for you no matter what, except from if you're Otis and you come from Otis's gym, there's a difference to it. Or if you're Graham Kidd, I don't think I can vouch for you. But on the other hand, anyone else, they'll definitely have my confidence, and I will definitely be there to watch it. I'll definitely be watching tonight, as you said. So thank you for reminding me. But I'm looking forward to just not only him, but just seeing the whole Scottish aspect fighting grow, and hopefully we have some bigger fighters than Chris, and that's just the way to go.
So did I understand well? Stevie Ray is joining PFL, then we've got in UFC, we got Paul Craig, we got Jojo. Any Scottish fighter who wins, you're probably happy and you're celebrating, like drinking beer or something like that. Is it a tradition in Scotland?
We do like to drink a lot, and I would say it's stronger than beer. Are you aware of Bucky?
Really?
Bucky? Buckfast? Yes, Buckfast.
I know what is that.
We really like, Drew's middle name. He is a heavy drinker of it. It's in his name, it's in his blood, so he's a heavy drinker of Bucky. But we like a wee Bucky. We like our heavy drinks. We really like to get we really like the phrase to get on it. When someone wins, we are on it. We are drinking. So I like to go out in style and really celebrate when Scotland's doing well and it's fighting, or even that's someone that I uphold and I admire a lot in fighting. When they win, I'm celebrating with them. So
just like we have heavy drink, we call it mastika. It's like, but it has the taste of a grass. It's a heavy drink, but it tastes like a grass, literally like a grass.
Grass, like as in like the grass on the ground, or like the drug grass? Are we talking?
No. Grass on the ground, grass for cattle. Grass on the ground.
Grass on the ground.
Literally like you're eating grass, and people are like, "How can you drink that? How can you drink that?" Well, sorry, man, I was born there.
Yeah, exactly. You've got the Bulgarian blood in you. You're like a machine, and that shouldn't really problem you. We are taught to eat shite in Scotland. When we become about 5 years on and older, 5 years, we eat shite sometimes. You know what shite is? Yeah, it's just poo. We like to eat poo. Yeah, not human feces. Obviously, that is very disgusting. But rabbit shite, dog shite. it makes you tougher. And in Scotland, it is, you need to be tough in Scotland. So that is why we do it. We eat shite, but we don't do it frequently because it will make you ill. But every so often we'll eat a wee shite to celebrate, So we like our shite.
We only like to put rabbits and cats on shoulders, that's the trademark of my state, like a rabbit here or cat here. When you see somebody doing that, they're from western part of Bulgaria.
Yeah. No, we don't really do that here. We to kind of show off here, we buy minge. You know what minge is? Like my middle name, like minge, like money, sort of, minge. We like to show our minge off. Like fully, like kind of wear the drip and stuff like that. Like we like to wear flashy clothes. And you'll see me walking about. I've got a minge hat. It's like this big hat I wear. I've got another one here, but it's the minge hat. Obviously, it's made out of like money. It's like $1 or like £1. It's like got tons of like pound notes and stuff, like sellotape to it, and it's like a big hat, like a big hat I wear. But I've got this hat as well. My other minge hat. It's got the Scottish trademark. A dog, the pink dog, the Scottish trademark of top animals, and that is also some Mosher gym merch. Everyone that is in my gym has one of these hats. Wee pink animal, the wee pink dog. It's a big tradition here in Scotland, the pink dog, and I think it symbolises me as a person. And that's why I also have the word minge in my name. Because that represents me, money. I'm a money man. And as I've said already, I like money. I really like my minge. So that symbolises me perfectly, minge.
Yeah, that's outstanding. I'd have to go now. I have some obligations running up. Need to write something. So thank you for the interview. I'll put it to creation, but since it was a bit longer one, I don't know how much will it take, but I hope to release it tonight.
Yeah. Yep, that's perfect. Thanks very much for having me on the show and allowing me to clear up my name and everything that's been said about me. But yeah, thank you very much for having me on.
Yeah, no problem. Have a great day. Got to go working now.
You too.
Right. Have a great day.
Yep, you too.